All right, so folks, we're playing Pro Tour decks. Of course, the deck that won the freaking Pro Tour. Playing the decks that my team played. Gonna play the deck that Matt played, and the majority of our Pro Tour team played Domain. The deck I kind of wish I had played. If you missed it, check out the Pro Tour recap. Obviously, I didn't do super well, and I fell off the tour, which is a shame. But the run went really, really long, honestly. 3 years straight at the Pro Tour. Just playing with house money feels like for the most part. So this is the deck that Matt won the Pro Tour with. The deck that Matt played, Reed played to like a top 16. Who else played it? Seth played it. I don't know. We had like six, 7 people playing it on the team. They all did quite well. It was a deck that obviously won the Pro Tour, as well as the deck that probably did the best of all the major decks of the Pro Tour. There were some niche decks that did pretty well, notably Blue-White Control in the hands of former teammates Eli Cassis and Arne Huschenbeth. But this was the deck of the event and the deck to beat in Standard going forward. Zur Domain, of course. Domain's been around for quite a while. A deck that seemed like it was going to go away when all of the Triomes rotated. That was not true. And now it's gained a bunch from obviously Duskmourn with the Overlords, picking up Zur, Eternal Schemer from Dominaria, way back. I'm picking it up, I guess, dragging it out of obscurity, I suppose, and just up the beanstalk. Big add here from the new set was Ride's End, which looks like a slight upgrade to Seasoned Slumber, which is basically the exact same card that doesn't exile. But being able to exile is a huge upgrade. And of course, this is a spell that works phenomenally with Up the Beanstalk, as well as being a good cheap removal spell too, as far as staying alive goes. So that's the deck. It's Domain on the freaking Pro Tour, and we're going to give it a spin right here, right now, brought to you by... All right, brought to you by Ultimate Guard. Obviously, we're here on the Ultimate Guard Twitch channel. Ultimate Guard, just a phenomenal company. If you caught me at the Meet and Beat booth at MagicCon Chicago, awesome. Happy to say hi, happy to play some games with you. And just a phenomenal company, makes great products, but also just does really cool community stuff too. Like the channel you're watching right now here on Twitch, Meet and Beat events at the MagicCons, just awesome stuff. Check them out, ultimateguard.com. Wherever fine Ultimate Guard products are sold near you. All right, let's rock and roll. Oh yeah, all right, look at that, perfect. Pro Tour Champion Hand of the Week. Love to see it. We're gonna mulligan, and then we're gonna keep this hand's fine. So keep this. We'll ship the Verge. So that's fine. Removal spells or Overlord. I guess I got double green though. Maybe we need to keep the double green for the Overlords. That's even better. So I keep that. And this is the deck that goes long better than any other deck. As long as we don't die, we're in good shape. Botanical Sanctum. What deck plays Botanical Sanctum? Ooh, boy. Analyze the bottom. We can just ship that. All right, so lining up for an Overlord on turn 3, where you want to be, obviously. Botanical Sanctum, Llanowar. All right, so I guess this is like a Gearhulk deck.
Oh, it's Lightning Helix! Oh my
Well,
God!
folks, that's how you win a Pro Tour. You just draw Beanstalk on turn 2 every game. Easy game. And now our draw is the actual nuts. Beanstalk into Overlord. And, opponents. Yeah, so this is the kind of thing that's not very good against Domain. Slow, not very aggressive, creatures that let us do our thing. So now we're completely online.
Some more Overlords.
Draw a card. Get everywhere you want to be. So if we draw an untapped land, we can Zur the Overlord, which is the actual nuts. Just beans into Overlord to Zur Overlord. But our hand is obviously stocked otherwise. Even just playing Bez is great the next turn. Biggest fear for Domain in the Pro Tour was Gruul. Gruul, we knew Gruul would be the most played deck. And the matchup against Gruul for Domain isn't great. Although I think that they did a really good job of getting the list set up for it. 3 main deck lockdowns, the 4 main deck Riot's Ends. So they're going to might my Beanstalk. It's already drawn 2 cards. So, like, that was a 3-for-1. It was 2 mana, draw 2, kill a thing, which is awesome. They're going to play Gearhulk, which is fine. No Sweeper at present, but that's... If Domain's at 20 life on turn 4 or 5, you're in pretty good shape, so... And they go find a Mockingbird and Inspector. So this is a cute deck that popped up before the Pro Tour. Didn't really show up at the Pro Tour that much, but trying to Mockingbird Overlord, Gearhulk over and over again, which is cute, obviously. But all right, so we're just gonna Beza here and play Maze. I guess we'll Maze first. And we'll inform our decision and dump the Lush Portico. Let's see, equal cards. We're gonna get some life and tokens here. That's fine. Next turn we can zero our Overlord. And eventually we'll draw Sweeper. Interestingly enough, the deck only placed one Sunfall. Sunfall being like the card. Previously in Domain, usually a 4 of it, like the card that made everyone groan. But kind of just slow against like the really aggro decks of the format. Of course, Day Judgment was in Foundations, and 4-mana Sweepers are just quite good. Here's Collector's Cage. They can play a spell for free here with Hideaway. Lockdown filling that role. The Sweeper role. Alright, well, they can play with Grab for free if they want to. They got the cage. Sound the alarms, folks. Here's a Novice Inspector. Investigate, draw a card, yada, yada, yada. Freaking green shell over here.
I'm Luigi, number 1.
And just nothing, say go. So, they have 3 mana up. That is green and blue, so no white mana. I think we're pretty safe for a Zur here. We don't mind trading. Obviously, just getting more everywheres is great. Yeah, I'm pretty cool with that. So just go Zur, animate, attack. I'm sorry, they can cage their Gearhulk because it's first strike. We shouldn't do that. I guess we just binding the Gearhulk too, right? Yeah, that's fine. Alright, so let's start there. Let's binding Gearhulk, and then we'll do our Zur play. Freaking Domain.
That's it, man. Game over, man. It's game over.
I suppose they could have, like, a negate or a spell pierce or something like that, but... Domain definitely really powerful. Domain is certainly certainly one of those decks that is really, really good against like brewy decks too. Alright, so we're gonna go land, Zur. Probably even send in the best of the Beza too, honestly. Just getting more everywhere is sweet too. Alright, coming in. Does attack for half their life total. And we gain a bunch of life. And our board is great. And we're at 22. And... hitting our beans is a big deal. You know, we definitely... we're not, like, flush with cards like we would be because they mighted the beans. But it's still a great exchange for us. Cage the Endurance. Not going to cast a spell for free. Interesting. Also part of the allure of bindinging the Gearhulk because they can't Mockingbird it now. We see Dusk Rose Reliquary. Sacrifice an artifact, exile a creature. Little do they know. Zur wasting the wings. A lot of argument and testing us about how many Zur to play, but I think the card's just too good. You gotta play 4. Oh, right. They had Coven earlier. They don't have Coven now. Sure. They could have played things for free earlier. That was just an engagement check. I'm trying to farm this engagement comment. There we go. What is this? Old Tech Matter Weaver. Cast a creature, make a 1/1, or make a token that's a copy of target artifact token you control. Interesting little card here. They're doing a lot of stuff, but it seems like they're like a little 5-year-old trying to punch the big whatever, wrestler guy or whatever. It's like, all right, enough. Thank you. Appreciate your patience here. They're taking a long time to do it, too.
Is there anybody in here?
Pop quiz, hot shot.
Worth it to use to hold the binding in response to the cage activation. Then they would have blocked already, though. It wouldn't have gained the life, wouldn't have dealt the damage. They are just taking the most time. We draw Get Lost. That's probably pretty cool. All right, so I'm just gonna fire a Zur again. Question now is, do I want to risk firing up the binding? Obviously, if the binding gets killed, they get their Gearhulk back and an ETB, which is pretty annoying. So, that being said, they don't really have great blocks to kill the binding. I think we just fire it up. Fire it up. Fire it up. Alright, and Land Binding Zur is like something else, you know? Attack with everything. Get it everywhere. Mockingbird's still in hand. They could have cast it, I guess, but if the card under cage was like super important, they would have shown on their turn. So, all right, they're going to chump and chump. That is fun. Yes, they gain some life. Their stuff dies, and again, they don't really have like a comeback mechanism against a board like this. Here's a maze, Bin of Urge, 2 rule spells in hand. Obviously, casting the Ride's End for 5 mana is totally acceptable, you know, at this stage in the game. Tapping 2 green off the Llanowar Elves to play a Matter Weaver. Okay. Maybe we just kill one of these. Otherwise, they're going to make a lot of chump blocker. Sure, whatever. I don't know if this is right or not, but whatever. They cast like creature. They can like copy a Matter Weaver and then cast another creature and make like a million blockers. So probably should have just killed the 2/4 maybe before I start casting things, but maybe not. I guess the information we got was interesting. So draw a card. One thing about the Is It artifact combat I played at the PT kills a Boomobile in the New Lotus. We discussed that a little bit in the testing house, but it didn't seem like it was like much interest for it. There were a lot of cool decks at the Pro Tour. You know, Pro Tour field was almost 30% other, and there were a number of fringy decks that did quite well. Well, I'll be playing more of those on stream as well. I wanted to hit the winning decks first, though. Well, I guess the decks we played. The winning deck and the deck we played. So, not the same thing. Alright, more tokens. They still have this cage card that they have not used yet, and at this point, it's hard to imagine it's anything relevant. Reliquary. Gonna hit Zur again. Sure. We draw a Sunfall. So the problem here at Sunfall, of course, is that if we Sunfall and our binding, they get the thing back. So we actually want to lose our binding in combat now, I think. Sure. I'm gonna attack. They're at 5. Whatever, sure. Attack with everything. Send it all in. They have 2 free blocks in the fish, but like they can't block other things profitably, so opponent feels like they're really swimming upstream. Alright, so they are going to single block. They actually are going to chump, chump, chump and eat the fish. Sure. Alright, so don't want to cast Sunfall here. Ride's End. I mean, we could have the Matter Weaver, I suppose. I guess if I cast Mockingbird, we can they Mockingbird my binding? Yes, they can, right? Or an Overlord or something like that. I would just say go. Whatever. The one Goblin player made day 2, went 5-4-1 in Constructed, I think. I didn't love their list, honestly, but... No salvage for sure. They do have an engine going on here, so... We can see how killing our beans definitely slows us down a little bit, but like they have an engine going, we don't, but... It is definitely amusing that this binding, like, is certainly being in an awkward situation. You know, binding the Gearhulk was somewhat risky. Alright, another cage card. They're chewing up the clock here. I think they're 5-4-1. They were listed as 5-4 on the Goldfish site, and usually when they don't post wins, they post the draws. So it looks like they dropped the last round or something like that, but it seems unlikely. All right, so untap. All right, I mean I'm just gonna tackle everything again. We actually just want them to block the binding and kill it, so. Little light on gas here, I'm not gonna lie. Wishing we had a Traxa. Want a Traxa on the board for games like this. Hey mama. Can you give me a rogue and a water, please? I forgot to get one. It's pleasant. 3/5 Matter Weaver. All right. Well, they're killing the bindings. That's cool. This is basically exactly what we wanted, honestly. We wanted the binding to die. They're gonna get back there. They can search for stuff, but we won't let them Mockingbird the Gearhulk. So, and we're just sort of like the waiting room of like, let's just draw something. Goblins drew versus Pixie? Wow. Alright, they get a Wormlet and a Dusk Rose Reliquary, sure. We're going to Lush Portico. Just looking for any card that has text on it. That's a card that has text on it. Casting Sunfall. Making a 7/7. And then getting our Overlord on too. They're going to cage the Gearhulk in response. I have 5 mana, right? Oh, they get it. Wait. Why didn't it give me the option to... Oh, they kicked it. I'm sorry. Right. Okay. I missed where this token came from. Right. They kicked it. They have 6 shows. We couldn't pay for it. All right. That's interesting. Main deck protect the negotiators. Sure. It would be really embarrassing to lose this game. That's pretty insane. Sure. I mean, we're drawing Overlord. Is that good enough? I mean, they're not gaining life. They have a Reliquary. I guess they get Mockingbird by Overlord. Jesus. I did not play around protecting negotiators. My bad, folks. Sorry.
Whoops. Whoopsie.
Anyone home?
Opponent is not playing fast. Remember, folks, first with that follow button, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, support the content, obviously. Hit the buttons and do the things. Opponent's giving you plenty of time to do that, so make sure you support the content. I think that, I think we're just taking this. Alright. I still have a cage card, too. I'm making a 3-3 each time, too. Jeez. 2-4 stat line does line up well in this format. I mean, even temporary lockdown would be great, too, right? We're drawing too much stuff, but... Alright, so... We're just gonna... I guess just cast Overlord and say go. I don't think we're attacking anymore. And they can copy the Overlord, which kind of sucks, but... Alright. Say go. End step, they're going to cage. They're going to cast another Wormlet. Okay. Maybe we just kill this now. Nice, we'll wait, whatever. Alright, alright. Taking game actions. One thing, of course, about playing the deck that won the Pro Tour after the Pro Tour is that everyone's ready to beat the deck that won the Pro Tour. So, main deck, Protect the Negotiators, not a thing you would usually see, but... Alright, green, green. One interesting thing about this list also is that there are 0 Cavern of Souls, which we determined that, like, this wasn't worth playing Cavern of Souls, really. In this metagame, there's so few counter spells, and that obviously could change going forward, so they copied the Gear Hall. I was talking, I should have exiled this. Whatever. Alright, sure.
Oh, whoops. Whoopsie.
Opponent is lulling me to sleep over here with their ponderous pace of play. Should I exile the Gear Hulk in response? Should I get more Mockingbirds? Alright, here's a Reliquary, sure. Just making sure that when we draw Temporary Lockdown, it's going to be really good. Flying Gear, yeah, not Ride the Enemy Gear Hulk is pretty bad, fortunately, but and here come the 3/3s, and we have 2 cages. Sure, so we're gonna block. They can cage up, but I think that's fine. 27 life is not unassailable, obviously, so... They've now used half of their round timer, and we're not even done with game 1 yet. Alright, and they're going to let all those things happen and not use the cages? Interesting. Go to 24. Bonus deck's pretty cool. draw land. Okay. Might just be dead. Just fire up a prairie and kill me. That protect the negotiators, let me tell you. Here's the prairie. It must have heard me. But they should have cast the Wormwood first. Made a 3/3. Grown these Wormwoods. The cages too. I think we're just dead. Alright. We'll just go to the next game. This is torture, so. Alright. 17 minutes for one game. We're gonna bring in what? We're gonna bring in. Honestly, I feel like our Elishnorn's kind of gas. Atraxa. Beza. What do we not want here? I feel like our whole deck is good against them. Terrace Under's like fine. Just like so many cards to bring in and like nothing I even want to take out, really. This Beza may not be necessary. I got the Beza. I think lockdowns are good. I mean, I'm not a big fan of Get Lost. Sure. Let's do that. On the play. If it takes as long as they did that game, they're going to time out. So, we can keep this. It's a little awkward. We can keep. Double Surveil land. Double Mulligan. Damn.
Anyone home?
Alright. I guess White Source first. Swamp. That is the worst possible. It is a land. We probably need to keep it, honestly. But it is the worst possible land. Doesn't cast Lockdown or Overlord. Alright, that one does. That's a good one. We like that. Yeah, here's Novice Inspector. I think we're just casting a Naked Zur here. Just a little weird, but we just want to set up for a lockdown. Make them deal with the Zur. They mulligan to 5, so they're down on cards. Sick. Alright, so Dusk Rose Reliquary hits the Zur. That kills their creature. And they definitely have a counterspell 100% of the time here. Maybe not. I guess they have negotiators. We want to just lock. Yeah, we're just gonna let go here. We're gonna lock down this stuff at some point, but not yet, obviously.
Make a little noise here, huh? Come on, I can't hear you.
Old Tech Matter Weaver. I mean, we have Daedodon, obviously. We could just kill this with the Terrace Under. This is Ward 2. Zur doesn't have much to do at the moment, so... And they go like creature, have a counterspell up. That could be annoying. Sure. This is weird, but I think when your opponent mulligans 5, you're happy to just take a 1-for-1. So... More like, doesn't matter, Weaver. Here comes the Prairie. In for 3. Love to see it. Alright, we draw a Riot's End. Alright, well. Not going anywhere for a while. Grab a Snickers, folks. 3 supers, 2 removal spells, and a Zur. Cool thing about Riot's End is it can target Prairie, whereas Binding can't. Alright, we draw an Overlord. Sure. Works for me.
Spawn more overlords.
We can now lock down, get our Zur back, and pump the Overlord. I get to glass gear, make sure. They get Haywire Might and Novice Inspector. They play Lanarupts. And they say go. Intentionally leaving up 1 mana for Brushland. A little weird, right? They didn't want to play the Inspector. I think I'm fine just playing Lockdown and then attacking with the Overlord. I don't want to lock down too many things with the Haywire Might in play. And they can Haywire Might. Well, they can't hit. We could Zur and then animate our lockdown so they can't Haywire Might it. That's kind of a cute idea. Or lockdown, get back there, or whatever. That's what I meant. But then they could just Might the Overlord. Pretty interesting spot, actually. Alright, I'm gonna take a guess at this. Lockdown. And then am I animating the Lockdown or the Overlord? They Haywire Might the Lockdown, get back to... I guess this is fine. Makes this a creature anyway, so it'll still stay a creature. Could just wait, but like then we're in a game of chicken where like we can never activate because they'll just have Might with 2/2 mana up. So I think just like attacking, getting it everywhere, gaining 5 is like pretty awesome here. All right, 22, 11, go. Here's your Might. I guess they have to hit Zur, they can't do Overlord, right? So, still a 5/5 Overlord in play, which is great. Still have second Zur, which is great. If they deal with this, we have Rats and stuff too, so feeling pretty good. Two cards left. There's a lot of rides ends. Alright. I'm fine, we're just gonna play a regular game here, not trying to do sweepers. We're just gonna play Zur, attack with the Overlord, get it everywhere, gain some life, rides end this Tour Hulk. It's everywhere you want to be. I'm just gonna do this now. I should have waited till they drew a card on their end set, probably, but whatever. Shard Mage's Rescue. That's a 1-up they played a search for through the year. They're all just pretty cool. Alright, so get out of here.
Get off my plane.
Good trades. Board's great. Feeling pretty good. Impending still going down. Yeah, having a Beans would be nice. Obviously, this is a Beans deck through and through. You know, up the Beanstalk, by far the most important card in the deck. It's not even remotely close. Mockingbird. Overlord. That's pretty cool. It's weird how Mockingbird, like, seems like a really good card. like, just on rate, it seems absurd. Doesn't see that much play, you know, like... Alright, are they going to counter my Ride's End? Disdainful Stroke. Counterspell's coming out in force here. I think taking a trade is totally fine. So we have Atraxa and 2 Analyze the Pollens. All right, just saying go. 28-6. Take 4. Oh my god, man, come on. Lush Portico, Overlord of the Hauntwoods. I see that. So go. They can fire in for an attack. We hardcast Overlord. Llanowar Elves for days. They have another Stroke here. That suck. It's funny, actually, without Cavern of Souls, like, the counterspells are really good against this deck, which is honestly one of the reasons why you should never just straight copy a deck for the Pro Tour. Like, this deck was built for the metagame at the Pro Tour. On Monday the next day, it is a different metagame, you know? So, I think you still want to play some Cavern of Souls now in the post-domain winning the Pro Tour world. No! On the draw, the Surveil Land and the Beans and the Stones, do we keep? I think we gotta keep. We're 45% the draw land, and we have 2 Analyze the Pollens, and we have a Surveil Land, and we're on the draw. Yeah, we're gonna keep. If we lose, we lose. Here's Llanowar Elves. We draw the most expensive card in our deck.
Somebody's playing a prank on me.
Alright. We're gonna keep Portico. Over a random card for an untapped land. This is a Matt Nass Game 5 sort of game. Yeah, Matt kept a hand in Game 5 of the Pro Tour Finals with no green in it. We were all like, we were watching, but he found the green, so. Alright, and they're actually not going to attack, so they definitely have a counterspell. Yeah, so they'll probably counter the first beans, but actually it's blue, right? But alright. And their clock isn't that fast, so it's a girl. Alright, well their draw is basically perfect here. On the play. Turn 3 Gear Hulk. They have a counterspell also. Like, you get Reliquary Mockingbird. When you draw land of his beans, they were probably dead. We did. We did. And now we need to see if we can dodge a counterspell or two. They're getting cagey. Keeping second beam was greedy. Maybe. They could have, I mean, if they didn't play a 4-4 on turn 3 and they just played some crapper or whatever, we would have been happy about it, but... Alright, well. Mana up for a counterspell again. And we don't draw land. Alright. We're going to take a hit here. Casting Lockdown is not even that good. Please draw land. Oh my god. Alright, we're back. I don't know what happened, but here we are. Sucks how we're probably going to lose this game. Taking the literal max amount of time for our opponent. We get internet problems and our Jubilant, that's sick. Counter the Overlord. Play Portico. Keep a land on top. Okay. So we have 6 mana next turn. And they don't play their cage card. I don't like that. It's probably a counter spell. They have the prairie too, to be aware of that. They definitely have a counter spell like 100% here. If it's Protect the Negotiators, the counters was supposed to pay 4. We can't stop that. Yeah, they were just dead. That's pretty frustrating. Just like perfect draw on their side on the draw. We just have no. There's nothing we can even do. Like, there's no possible way it's not a counterspell. And there's just nothing we can do. We have no 2 spell sequence we can play. So, yeah, all right, I guess whatever, sure. Opponent's going to take the literal maximum amount of time. I mean, Domain's obviously a deck that has a fail rate. You know, you kind of just stumble a little bit. Our hand was actually kind of okay, but their hand was just really good. And again, this is a good lesson in just like, what's going on here? And like, you know, how metagames work. Their deck is literally main decking Protect the Negotiators for the Domain matchup. The deck won the Pro Tour, and that's what happens, you know? Pretty annoying, but is what it is. Alright, try it again. Double version. Beanstalk. This is fun. That's more like it. Little Golgari action for us. Alright, we're gonna bend this Ride's End. I think that we just... Yeah, we already have one. It's good for Pollen, too. Just get our beans going. Oh, yeah. Alright, well, if you wanted a palate cleanser, beating up on Golgari with Domain is a time-honored tradition. Golgari deck did not see much play at the Pro Tour. Good against Gruul, but it's pretty heinous against Domain. We draw a Razor Verge Thicket, which is kind of awkward because it'll only come in play tapped on this turn. We have no use for the mana though. We just want to Ride's End this Dread Knight. Yeah, whatever. Heh. They played team played 2 Thickets. Gotta have green and white mana early. It's really, really important, so. Alright, so they attack. Give it a little Ride's End. Draw a card. Analyze the Pollen is fully... We just Pollen for an Overlord. Sentinel number 2, sure. Just get green Overlord, play green Overlord, have double binding next turn. Kind of like that. Analyze the Pollen. Go get me an Overlord.
Spawn more Overlords.
Draw Sunfall off the beans.
Bingo!
Alright.
There was a pretty cool Golgari deck at the Pro Tour, played by Javier Dominguez and Christopher Larson. They were playing like the Obliterator Overlord deck. I mean, Obliterator deck, which is like almost a meme deck, but it kind of makes sense because like Obliterator is heinously good against Gruul, and then it's also good against Pixie because it's just a non-3/3 or whatever. So, kind of cool. One of the fun other decks in the format. Mapping again. Goodbye, Anoint. I think we're just gonna cast Sunfall here, so. They do have a cottage you need to be aware of, but. And you can't binding a cottage, but I think that's fun. And they're going all in here. Map. There was also a Graveyard Golgari deck in top 8. That's true. That deck was kind of cool, but... Alright, here's Sunfall. Draw a card. Get Lost is a good pickup. Get Lost can deal with the Cottage too, so... Alright, there it is. Phyrexian Obliterator. Not so good against Domain, but... Alright, we are going to... Let's see. Probably just plot an Overlord and have Double Binding up. Yeah, that works for me. Alright, Portico. When the beans are rolling, folks, the beans are rolling, you know? One Moth down. Bind it up. That's more like it.
Game.
That's more like it.
Blouses.
Alright, gift of matchup here. We probably don't even do much, honestly. The Atraxa is somewhat interesting. I guess Bez is not great against them. Bez is like okay, honestly. I guess the lockdowns are great against them, right? Let's bring the Atraxa, an Elspeth Smite, and maybe like a stock up. This is Reed's idea. Reed wanted to play a stock up or two in the board for the slower matchups. This card's pretty insane, so. Probably don't discard. Sure. Sign me up. Game 2. Stock it up. And it's Ray Keep. They have a duress for my Beanstalk here. It'd be annoying, but it's fine. Never mind. Drew another one. Top card Sunfall. Sure, we'll keep that.
Now this is pod racing.
That's pretty funny. So they had the duress on one. They wanted to wait a turn to have one extra look for the Beanstalk. We each had a second copy anyway, so that's pretty humorous. Alright, draw a card. Segio. Sentinel of the Nameless City. It's that anti-Rides End tech. Honestly, we just binding here. The amount of binding is not exactly impressive, but when it draws a card, you know, it takes this thing out a little bit. Yeah, they're gonna map too, so sure, works for me.
Why won't you die?
Goodbye, Sentinel. Sure. Sure. All right, so that first match took a long time. I think we're good here. I think the lesson we can learn from this is that when a deck wins a Pro Tour, a deck was built for that specific tournament, that specific moment in time. It's very important to not just copy, but put some thought into the deck as well and how the metagame will change because of the Pro Tour. Because clearly, you know, things have changed a little bit. You know, people are much more ready for Domain. Might need to get those Cavern Souls back in the end of the deck in some way, and make some altercations as well. Also, Lockdown, if Gruul is going to be lessening a bit. Oh, I guess Gruul is good against Domain in theory anyway. But Lockdown's more focused on Pixie, and Gruul might want a more widely applicable card in a more open metagame as well, too. So, Oculus is next, the deck that I played at the Pro Tour, and all my teammates played. YouTube folks, love you, like, comment, subscribe, real great. Peace.